Presbyterian Church, down at the corner. Probably one of Hudson's most handsome buildings, along with the Oddfellows building in Wood Square. Certainly the most distinctive in town. And then finally, the Methodist Church across the street, which no longer exists. I think this, if I have a picture, this has got to be my personal favorite. Somehow it just conjures up early, serene, but I'm sure it wasn't. I remember listening one time, how many ever listened to Prairie Home Companion? I hope, yeah, nope, I hope everybody has, but there was one segment where he talked about being a little kid and life was great and everything was taken care of and life was fine and secure. But then he went on to say, that's because I was a kid. And I had no clue of the issues Mom and Dad and Grandma had run into. And I'm sure that was true. But nevertheless, idyllic scene, I guess you'd say. This is the Baptist Church. No longer there. That's the one that went in 1965. Although the very earliest Baptist was one of the earliest in Marlborough, goes way back, was actually on the top of Gospel Hill, long ago. And this is the Baptist Church, replaced now by well, Boys and Girls Clubs, the post office, one or the other, right in through there. And actually, yeah, if you look really close, I think I can see Janice Long in there waving from the... Sorry, Janice. She probably went home for the night anyway. Okay, and there we are. Boys Girls Club, stuck in the post office, and then here's the building we're in now. Okay, well, you can't mistake that. Classic, famous stories, and very important early buildings, early town meetings were here. The GAR met here. GAR, Grand Army of the Republic. I have my GAR belt buckle on. Actually, we picked up a real one. And this building here, I sort of have horrors about that building because in the late 1940s, I played recital along with an older brother and an older sister. And we played recitals for Miss Ada Brigham. Anybody remember her? Yes. Went to the conservatory in the 20s. She was accomplished. We didn't appreciate that, I will tell you. All I remember is being in her house up at the other end of Church Street, waiting for my turn, peeling wallpaper off. That must have been a real pain in the ass.
I didn't know you did.
Must have been a real pain in the ass then. Okay, well, across the street, this is the Methodist Church. This would be Chubby's Liquors now. Okay. Handsome building, and we can tell tracks in the street. So we know the date by which this cannot be after because, come on. Yeah, major fire. And on its site, this is probably from the 30s. Here is the only picture that I have that still that showed it as Aubuchon's. This is 5 or 6 years old because, of course, it is now the pawnbrokers. And I hope some of you a couple of years ago had a chance at the society meetings, which I hope you come to. We had Mr. Pawnbroker himself come in and talk about the business and how it happens. And it did some appraisals. Some of you may remember that. Oh my gosh. Oh, Janice, where are you? This is for you. This is this building. It was a lot of things. General Brigham, built before '84, became the American Legion home. And that's American Legion Hall home here. And of course, now. So there we go. Okay, well, driving down Church Street the wrong way, across the street, bingo, you run into this building, a very old building, shows on the earliest of maps. Now, a very interesting thing happens here, and that is Hudson Cleaners is attached to the Rice Block, which is the big block, the Freedman Block, across from Town Hall. And up here, it says Lucian's. But, interestingly, early on, Lucia must have been here. But not long after that, he went next door. And that's really what he is known for being in this building. And here's the one he evidently vacated. Because all of the ads refer to this address. Okay, oh, I didn't even look at it. And here's the pub, the Horseshoe Pub, right straight through.
What's that building where the car's in front of?
That's the one we're talking about. It's Hair by Shaves. Actually, the picture that I showed you, that I took up Main Street, I took from the second floor window and looking up Main Street to match the other one. Okay, moving down. This is Larkin Lumber, former Larkin Lumber, very early, one of the oldest continuous businesses in town. Here's from '89. It began, I think, in '87 and lasted till about 2 years ago. Robinson and Larkin. Robinson was the partner who, when it was out in the woods getting timber in the middle part of the state, sent it here where it was processed as lumber. Interesting picture. Notice this, way in the back. Trestle is still there. Actually, much of this, almost everything you see is gone except one building.
The one in the back.
One building. Here's the canal, which literally runs under the building now. Now, this is a little strange, might seem out of sequence. However, the reason I show you this picture, and most everybody knows the gas station, 123 Main, across the street from Walt Snyder's. I show this because, see this chimney back here. The reason I show you that chimney is somebody had to climb up inside that chimney for state certification. And when he was up there, he took a pan of downtown Hudson, and this is one of the pictures. And here is Larkin Lumber, and this is from '33. We know the date, from '33 here. Here is the Florist Building. Here's the church. The Jenny gas station. Yep. Originally, before it was Jenny, it was called the Go-Go Gas in the 1920s. Tried to look them up. Not a whole lot on it, but there was such a thing. This building started out way early as a harness shop. Didn't last. Well, it actually lasted, but it's long gone now. Here is an aerial, not the one from before, but here is Larkin Lumber, Bruce's Pond, and let me see here. This picture is from 57, late 50s, so most would remember it. Here's the gas station, Jenny gas station. And I want to show you two things. In front of the gas station, right on the street, there's something. And secondly, see this building here. To help you This is Silva's. Okay? But back there, the very next building, you all know this view if you've ever walked down Main Street. This was when it was still Larkin. You recognize it now as Domino's. This building, I believe, is an original. It's got to go back, way, way back. And it is still there. It's still there. It was part of the lumber yard, although I don't think it was extensively used, because this was, they've had various grades of lumber in the shed up here. And sneaking through, this is the back of Silva's, sneaking through here is a very interesting building which does not front on Main Street. Vic, can you tell us what that is?
J&K Tire?
Nope. Nope, J&K's behind you. You're looking east. I believe that's the bowling alley. Yeah. McCarthy's bowling alley. Pardon?
The really nice chimney?
Oh, you mean here?
No, the bowling alley.
Oh, here. Yes. Sorry. Yeah, the stonework.
Yeah.
Oh, it's incredible. But you know what is interesting? Sorry. That would be here. Because we were looking through here, right? Right now, it's only single lane. I mean, if you look at the building, it's just, what, 15 feet wide. And that's quite wide. So there had to be several alleys, I assume. Okay, cranking right along. Okay, here we are, Houghton Street and Main. How are we doing? Nah. TCL, that's not Turner Classic something, that's TC Lando's, the brick building across from Larkin, okay? The pizza place. Interesting, you can look up TC Lando's, start in Maynard, small outfit starting there. At any rate, here's Houghton Street. Here is the mill race, we call the canal now. We want to look at this area. The next view is you're standing here looking down that way. And I draw your attention to this fire hydrant, which shows in successive photos. We're standing probably on J&K Tire would be directly behind us. We're looking across the street towards TC Lando's. This fence here, this is the canal. Okay, so TC Lando's would be here. Got it? This is the Dawes factory. The next year it's Fuller, Chandler, and Patton. These things continually change, so trying to track how many businesses we had is a challenge. Same building, different names. There it is again. And, whoops. And there's the Lando's, so forth. Okay. This was an important section here. Bradley's before, and this is important. We don't have a photo of maybe, but in the back of this building was the beginning of Hudson Light and Power. Subsequently bought by the town, 1890 some odd, and is now Hudson Light and Power. A couple of views pretty much of that building. These are the same views. That's what, if you were standing in 1901, you would have seen it this way. Look the other way. Here's the canal. Okay, hang on, we're cranking right through here. We're going to be looking down Main Street. Look at this. The hell is this? That's a railroad. That is a railroad that is going to run right directly through the front door of Mundial Travel, which obviously wasn't there. Literally through that very corner. A couple of buildings we're going to see. Here's another one, my favorite shot. This is the so-called American house. And you'll see where we are, but we're clearly probably 1880s, maybe, that far.
Well, it's got the post there.
Yeah, well, they had telegraph lines. But I don't see tracks. So this is the American house here. A little hard to see there, but that was Doherty's fashionable boot and shoemaker. Everybody was in the business. There was a lot of piecework done. Not all of it was done in factories. Awful lot of women took stuff home, tied certain parts, came back and got more. This was a parade. We had a whole series. The Hudson house we talked about, the Sherman house, which is down the street. This is the American house, the Union house. Had a whole bunch of shops. But this is that view now. So the American house would have been here. If we turned around and looked east, this is again a very old picture. Here is the American house, the Sherman house, which is still there, the Houghton factory, which is not, but right here, I don't know whether you can see it or not, there's a lunch cart. A lunch cart. Okay, but we're looking at this because of the flood coming right across Main Street. They had a whole series of floods, which actually lasted until quite recently. I mean, this was well, here's the Sherman house. It's exactly the way it is now. The brick building. Pretty much the same view. But to give you an idea of how important the floods were, this was about the 1938 flood. There is the dam at the backside of Larkin and Bruce's Pond. I took this one in '79. Took this one of Lloyd Parker trudging through the water to get to the office. Yeah, this was right in the middle. This was like January, but a terrible storm. And here is the Sherman house, Scally house. Sometimes Scally because of its owner. Choices foreign, liquors, rooms, and so forth. Across the street, this is kind of interesting. I think some of you know this story. Night Fuel. Out the back, they had this coal shed. Look at this. Railroad cars. This is the coal shed. They would dump coal out of the cars into the shed to be sorted. And you know where we are now? South Street Extension. Knight's tanks are right here to the left. And this is the new parking lot for the mill building on the other side. And this is the road bed for the rail trail. Okay, here's the lunch cart talked about. And this will become Knight's. Oh, you knew this was coming. Fascinating building. Done by Worcester Dining Car Company. Some of us remember it. Our daughter worked in this in high school. As she said, one of the worst experiences she ever had. Did not like it. It was towards the end when a fellow by the name of Murphy was running the show, and that was quite unfortunate. 84. Yeah, 84. I think, as I remember, the boss man withheld the withholding.
That lasted you more than 35 years.
In this place. That's what's there now, the Peking. But very interesting situation with this diner. The diner was actually started out as Lammy's Diner in Marlboro. It's now an empty lot, corner of Maple and Main If you go down Main Street all the way east to the phone company, up on the hill, take a right, there's an empty lot. That's where that was.